Hello, namaskar, it's Kate, the Greenie Yoginii. Here in the garden today I'm putting some tomatoes in against this fence because this area is very close to the house. And if you look behind my shoulder there, yep, the home's just there with the kitchen in there, and it will be really lovely to have some tomatoes very close by so we can watch them grow, and then as they're growing, come out and pick them. Plus, they love being against the fence because they don't like too much wind or draft. And the other thing is that we can see them as they ripen, so I don't have to bring them in and put them into the into the refrigerator. So I've got my four little tomato plants sitting over here, and I'll just come over here and get them. And we stuck them here in the pond just to keep them overnight nice and moist. So they're just down in here, and there they are. I kept their roots covered and just kept them really moist for the night, which hasn't hurt them at all. And I'm bringing them over here to put them in here for planting. Now this area here is actually part of the pathway, and Modern and I have been looking at pathways because people grow plants in the craziest of places, and I've got a few areas, little bits of space in front here. Oh, sorry about that big noise, but I want to pull these rocks out. I mean, even they would go in here in between the rocks, but I'll take at least one of these stones out, and here it is, and see if we can get them set up in a little hole. Each one can have its own little cavity. And this is something I like about around here, is that everything I've put in, I can also take out. I'll put one down in here, one here, one here. If I could get one more into this corner, maybe we can just put one here. Yeah, I can. Look at that. There's just enough space there in between those rocks. And there it is. So there we are. These four little holes should be good. What we'll do is we'll get them a bit deeper, and I'll put some, this soil's not good at all. It's just clay soil, as you can see. So I'll put in some mushroom compost into each one, like so. This one as well, I'll just dig it out a bit more. Here it is. My handy Japanese weeder is also a really good one for etching out a bit more space if we need it. So here we go. We're making a bit of a deeper hole there for the other plant. And because this area is pretty much on a waterway, it's got a pond over just behind it, then I think we've got a good chance of it staying nice and moist here for them. The soil's not very, very good. And apparently with tomatoes, they don't really like very good soil. They don't mind if the soil's a bit, that they have to work a bit. Some people say they even do better when it's dry, like a mango tree. But I'll give it a try here and see how it goes. So that area there, this is really bad soil in here. It's just clay. I can get that little stone out from inside there. It'll make a bit more room for the mushy compost. There we go. Just scratching this area here out for them. There we are. And again, this is a nice way to grow plants, is to get them really close to the house. When I was a child, we had a neighbour across from my grandma. Her name was Mrs. Cunico. And Mrs. Cunico, the entrance to her home, she was Italian. She grew fantastic food. Mrs. Cunico must have come out into Australia during the war. There was a lot of Italians that hit Melbourne at that time. And up in the northeast, where there's fantastic growing soil, all around Bright, Wangaratta and that area, a lot of Italians settled. And Mrs. Cunico was somebody who we would go to all the time for eggs and tomatoes. And she grew her tomatoes on a trellis all across the front of her house, along with cucumbers. and you'd walk in underneath this massive trellis of tomatoes that she was growing. And because they were so close to the house, she kept a good look on them. And so I would like it if the entrance to our home had a big pile of tomatoes right at the front door, because as soon as you go in the front door at our house, you go into the kitchen. So, or you just walk past the living space straight into the kitchen, and that means it'd be very easy for us to have tomatoes growing there. So I'm going to pop them in. They're well watered. Now with tomatoes, when you put them in, it's good to lie them down a little bit and let them stand up. So that's one in, and this one can go straight down in here into the mushy compost. And that's the second. This one's got 3 tomato plants. So I can imagine, I'll grow it back this way. I can imagine I'll be having to stake, or well, I've got this fence here so that I can just grow them straight up the fence. So my hope is that they'll come up to about this height, even a bit higher up here, and all the way up I can just tie them in around these bamboo pieces that are here. And here's the last one going in there. This one I'll stand it up a little like that. Okay, so that's those tomatoes in. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll just water them in and then give them a little bit of I can put that soil back in around them, but I'll put a little bit of I've got some bark, some hay and some bark. I just want to mulch them with something to give them a bit of a covering. I'll just get the water turned on. Okay, just give them a gentle watering. Wash off my tool while I'm at it. There we go. Good. I don't even want to put that water directly onto them, because I'll just bounce it off the rock and down around their feet. So they don't get too impacted by it. Here we go. And get some of there we are. Get some of this off my tools. Right, so they're nicely watered in, and they're sitting in there, and the sun is going to be up around them. Oh, clean that off a bit there too. Get that off the path here. Let's put you in there.